Where's Brian? Where has he been? I haven't seen him anywhere. Did he quit BookTube? Does anybody know? He's nowhere to be found. Alright. Hello everybody. Sorry that I have been AWOL for, like 20 days since I uploaded a video. I guess my excuse is I was busy, but like, I don't know, when am I not busy, right? I've got, a kid and a family and a job, and I'm always busy, so I really don't have an excuse. It was more of just, I don't know, I kept wanting to make a video and then didn't have time, or something came up, or I was too tired, or I wasn't in the mood, or whatever, so sorry. Although really, I think I only missed 1 week. And also, do you even care? I don't think you're sitting around at home like, oh, where's Brian's video? Anyways, yeah, but I really haven't been AWOL because I have been on multiple channels since I last uploaded. I did a video with Jake from Pulp Mortem where we discussed the book that is maybe loosely linked to Jeffrey Epstein, an old sci-fi book called Space Relations. And if you want to see that video, I will link it down below. And then I was also on the most recent Elusive Exclusive Book Society episode, and that is on Secret Fire Books channel, where we talk about a morbid taste for bones, and I will link that below. So for whatever reason you've wanted to see my face on some content, there it is. I didn't completely abandon you. Guys, I have a problem. I buy too many books. It's becoming apparent, if it wasn't already. I have a book haul today, and it's a big one. It might even be a bigger one than last time. I'm ashamed to say it's bigger than I realized. And yeah, maybe I'll do a video soon talking about, what I'm going to do, because realistically, I'm out of space. I'm beyond out of space. I might have to start getting rid of some books, selling some off or something. I don't know. I will think on that. But in the meantime, let's take a look at some really cool books, because I got a bunch. I don't even know where to begin. There's so many. All right. Oh, look at that. See, I got a little ring light too. I found it at the thrift store. That's going to be annoying. Makes my face look nice, but what's it going to do about books? Oh, hold on. I'll figure it out, guys. Don't worry. Web of Futures. I love this cover. That was enough to sell me. And then it says a fantasy palindrome. What does that mean? I don't know, but I'm excited about it. Picked up a couple more of The Dungeon. I'm trying to find... Oh God, that's going to drive me crazy. I found a couple more of The Dungeon. I've been trying to get all 6 of them. This is like Philip Jose's Farmer's The Dungeon, but they're each written by different authors. I don't even know where I want to go next. There's so many cool things. I found one of these Africore books. These look so amazing. I can't handle how cool it looks. There's a whole series of these. This is number 2. Look at these guys. Oh man. Yeah, I want to find more of those. Whoop. Picked up Point Horror book, Ghost Abbey. Pretty cool cover on that one. I've seen this one around. What else? Just grabbed another Mac Bolan, because of course, number 94. With that great Gil Cohen art. Let's see. Got a Ace Double with A. Bertram Chandler's The Dark Dimensions and A. Bertram Chandler's Alternate Orbits. Let's see. I told you I was going to go back to that store because I picked up a bunch of tracker books. But I left number 1 at the store. Oh my gosh. Well, I did go back for it, and it was, of course, still there because who's going to buy this except for me? So that is number 1 in the tracker series. I think I'm only missing a few of them now. I picked up this Conan and the Sorcerer. This is one of the pastiche novels by Andrew J. Offutt. And this is the only Conan book that I own. And part of me wants to read this first just to irritate Tim. Just make my first Conan book a pastiche book. This was super cool. I was really excited about this. The Goronsky Missile by Alan Kailu. And it says it's number 7 of the Tobin's Commando series. I had never heard of that. But it looks like some cheesy fun. Cambodian Connection. And then I picked up another men's adventure book from like the 70s, or spy book, that I had never heard of, never seen, didn't see like anything about it online. Hard to Kill by James Marcotte. So that's pretty cool. I found these at a variety of stores. I know I don't usually tell you guys what stores they were at, because you wouldn't. Would you know anyways? I don't know. This is from Mr. Mike's Used Books. There you go. I just thought this looked really cool. The Threshold by Marlis Milheiser. She's like stepping through some portal here. And the description is like Colorado in the 1980s and Colorado in 1901. So I think it's some sort of fantasy sci-fi book. And then I found these two, Stormcaller and Demon Drums. This is 1 and 2 of a trilogy. Looks like some sort of like South Pacific type fantasy. She's like some shark slayer, and I don't know. Sold. Picked up James Herbert's Fluke. So James Herbert is a horror author, a gripping novel of a man trapped in a dog's body. But I know that Fluke was made into like a kids movie in the 90s. Has anyone read this? Is this like horror, or is it more of a, I don't know. I also found this Graham Masterton Condor. So that was fun to find. It looks like it's another one, like maybe, United States politics. Yeah, front-running presidential candidate with a sinister past. Didn't he also write The Hell Candidate? Where like the president is Satan. He might have some opinions on American politics. I think he's a British man. Another one of The Dungeon. Look at that with the dinosaurs. I need to read The Dungeon. I'm just going to hold it here all day until it focuses. I got time. There we go. Yeah, with all the brontosauruses and the man with the sword. I'm just obsessed with the art on these books. Oh, okay, here we go. The Yearbook by Peter Larangis, another point horror. I think both of the ones that I found, that other one, they were in the same store, and they were both from Wendy Butcher, and she drew these little faces in both of them. Yeah, picked up this one, The Multiple Man by Ben Bova. It looks like a sci-fi political thriller type thing, which sounded kind of fun. It's like they're clones of the president or something. I don't know. I also got Twistor by John Kramer, because I loved the cover. I'm always partial to these Avo Nova science fiction covers. Picked up Christopher Pike, probably my favorite YA horror author of the 90s. I read his book Die Softly, and I felt like it was just like Richard Lehman for teens. Got this one, John Skipp and Craig Spector, The Light at the End. believe Kelsey over at Slime and Slashers was telling me specifically that I would love this book, and I'm sure I would. I've never read Skip and Spectre. I've read Skip and a book by Skip and Goodfellow, or was it? Yeah, Jake's Wake or something. But I need to read some Skip and Spectre. Found a Del Abyss, Wildling by Melanie Tim. Love all the Del Abyss books. Okay. All right, it's gonna be story time for you guys. Are you ready for a little story time? I really want to read this whole book series, and I probably will. Maybe this year, I'll try to. And well, I'll just show you. So this is Robert Silverberg's Time Tours. And this was kind of like a cash in by the publisher on, Robert Silverberg's name and his book Up the Line, which is about time travel tourism. And the publisher basically asked him, can we use your name and loosely tie in some books to your Up the Line world? And he was like, sure. And I found a forum online. They're all written by different authors, by the way. So William F. Wu. I'll just show you, and then I'll keep talking if I can. I can't think and do this. Yeah, see? I'm just silent now. This one looks like the most exciting one. I ordered this full set off eBay. I had the first one, and I've showed it off before, but I just was never finding any more, and I found all of them on eBay for fairly cheap. So I ordered the full set, and these have no reviews online that I can find. And it's so strange to me because I'm like, this is Robert, kind of tied into Robert Silverberg's literary world. And so I found a forum somewhere online that I've struggled to find again, but in it, people are asking about this series, and Robert Silverberg himself answered and basically said, I had zero input, because people were wondering, how much did Robert Silverberg have to do with this project? And he responded, I had zero input. He said, I literally took a paycheck and then kind of forgot they existed until I started receiving the books in the mail, because I guess they gave him a copy of each one, the publisher. And he said that he never read them at all, and in fact, never even received a copy of the last book. And so I thought, what would be funny is if I read all these books and I got Robert Silverberg to come on and read all these books for the first time and talk about them. I was like, that would be super interesting, because technically his name's on the cover. Shouldn't he want to have at least read them? And so I emailed him. I was like, hey, this is a ridiculous idea, but do you want to read these and come talk about them with me? And he responded. I thought he would at least think it was funny and maybe be like, haha, that's funny, but no, I don't have time for that or whatever. But he responded. I'm not gonna screenshot the email, but he was like, I think a quote was, I don't see the point in discussing these at this point in time. Which I thought was a little damn, dude, authors put their effort into this. This is, somebody wrote this and tried, and your name is on the cover. And he's just like, I don't see the point in discussing this. So yeah, Robert Silverberg hates fun. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's all good. I don't even care. I don't care. It's all good. I wouldn't have done it either, right? I wouldn't want to talk to me. Anyways, that's my story. I hope Robert Silverberg doesn't watch this, but he won't. He doesn't like fun. All right, sorry. No, I'm not gonna. Okay. I got another Mel Odom. Mel Odom is awesome. He ghost wrote a bunch of the a bunch of like men's adventure series. He wrote books in the Executioner series. He wrote books in the Deathlands series. He wrote books in the Rogue Angel series. And he only has a couple books under his own name. I have one of them already, and this is another one from Rock. They're like techno thrillers from the 90s. And every time I've read a book that was ghost written or pen name written by him, they're great. So I like him as a writer. This is another one I found that I couldn't find anything about online. It seems to be, one of those books that's just been forgotten to time. The Potomac Conspiracy by D. Lawrence Levy. I assume it's a thriller, a political thriller of some sort. But yeah, off Major Books. So I thought that was a cool find. This one, my homeboy Nick over at... You thought I was going to say the Book Graveyard, didn't you? I didn't. I wasn't. Nick at Hide and Read. Go check out his channel. Nick over at Hide and Read showed this off, and I was like, this looks amazing. And he gave it to me because he's a nice guy. The Nazis are invading the American Southwest. And he was telling me that, and I haven't looked this up, so if I'm wrong, blame him. He was telling me that this author writes is like an expert in history, like Native American history. So this might be like pretty, accurate in a lot of things. I found one of these, Indiana Jones and the Dinosaur Eggs. So if you don't know, there's a lot of these. This is not a novelization. This is like an original, official canon Indiana Jones story that you can only get in this book. There's a lot of them, and I want them, but I never find them. So I found one, and that's exciting. In case you didn't know. The Quick by Bert Cole. I just like this guy. That's all I can say about that. Also, it was like $1, but I just like that guy. He seems like a good guy. Souls by Katina Alexis. Very cool cover on this horror book. Another like spy book that I found. I kind of hit the jackpot at this one shop on these. I bet they were all returned by the same dude or lady. I don't know. The Stetton Secret by James Stewart Thayer. This is kind of a thick one for these spy books. I picked this up. Okay, so Stuart Moore, Reality Bites, Dark Future. I don't know who's familiar, but this symbol, Black Flame Publishers. So I guess, yeah, Black Flame publication. So Black Flame did a number of novelizations and tie-ins. They have tie-ins and novelizations in like the Friday the 13th series and some other horror series, Freddy vs. Jason, and I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they, most notably to me, did both the Final Destination novelizations, but also kind of like the Indiana Jones thing. There are 3 Final Destination books that have completely original stories. And those are incredibly expensive and hard to find, but basically anything Black Flame is really rare and out of print and goes for a lot of money online. I don't want to say I bought this to sell it because I don't know what Dark Future is, and I think this is a sequel within there, but if I see Black Flame, and this is the only time I've seen it in the wild, I grab it because they're very rare and sought after. This looked amazing. Eldine James Mojave Wells. This looks like a cheesy VHS movie, and I'm here for it. He was born human, but things can change. It takes place in the American Southwest. I love deserty settings. I don't know. It sounds great. Okay. Now I have a whole big bag. So let's get into that. So I bought this one online because it looks incredible. That is... get out of here, ring light. That is Captured by Michael Sarian. A new video, A New Kind of Terror. So this is like this is from the heyday of VHS. This is from 1987. So I know there's a lot of books nowadays that have these VHS covers as like a nostalgic throwback, but this was made like this in the heyday, and it's got black text block, which I love, and the back says like video violence, which is in and of itself, video violence is a shot on video horror. So I had to buy this online, and I might read this and discuss it on my channel with a special guest. Ooh, when? I don't know. Do I know how to set up things and film and conversations? No. I'll have to figure it out, won't I? I got another Tor SF double because I love the Tor SF doubles. I just like the aesthetic, and they seem so small for this to be 2 books. But yeah, this is a Harry Turtledove and an Elsprag de Camp. And isn't Harry Turtledove have like the biggest books ever? So for him to have a book that's like, I don't know. I just think Tor SF doubles are cool. This looks so amazing. This really looks like a cheesy VHS movie. Bad Voltage. Look at it. Just look at it. Look at it. Are you looking? Don't look away. Look at that guy. And look at this, right? When you open it up, skate or die, bro. Skate or die. Oh man, I love this stuff. All right. Black Sun by Robert Leininger. Just an apocalypse book. Who doesn't want an apocalypse book? I got another Gold Eagle. I'd never heard of this series. This is Jake Strait, Boogeyman. But really it's Bogeyman, right? Jake Strait, Bogeyman. He gets a bunch of bogeys when he plays golf. That's not how you spell boogeyman, is it? I don't know. Maybe it is, and I'm the idiot. Picked up this bad boy. I think I talked about this once on my channel a long time ago. There are, I think, 4 or 5 of these, and it was just a 90s middle grade survival series. Like these, it was always just like some kids or teens that are facing up against some sort of natural danger, and I loved them as a kid. So I found one of them, and I'm gonna read it. So there you go. I had that one as a kid. I remember that. Found another Melanie Tem, The Deceiver. You guys having as much fun as I am? Hope so. This looks cool. So for a while, I had this idea of writing a story where I'm not a mountain climber, but I'm very interested in mountain climbing. I think it's fascinating. I've watched tons of documentaries and everything about it, and I've always had this idea, like, what if the story was about mountain climbers climbing this super high peak on another planet? Well, it exists. I found this and bought it immediately. It's called Class 6 Climb. The ultimate climbing thrill, or the symbol of a world's freedom. Look at these dudes climbing this giant tree. I'm so obsessed. And these little rat things. Someone stole my book idea. Probably before I was born. Bastards. 1980. Yeah, they stole my book idea before I was even born. God. What are you going to do? Picked this one up, Ice and Iron by Wilson Tucker. I've seen this cover before around the store and passed on it, and this one's not in good shape, but it was really cheap, and it does look fun. I didn't pass on it for any specific reason. I didn't pass on it this time, did I? This looks amazing. Does anybody like records? This is a horror book with a record on the cover, Ghoul by Michael Slade. And it's got a quote by Alice Cooper on the bottom. I know, amazing. It looks so cool. I mean, cool. Oh, God. Sorry about that. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry about that. That was great. Meanwhile, a novel of unsurpassed adventure, excitement, and downright silliness. I picked this up because the back, and I'm not going to read it to you now, I guess, but it just seemed insane. Just like the most bizarre, ridiculous thing. So I picked it up because I'm an addict and I have a problem. I picked this up, The Devil's Churn, because, you know, I'm not going to not pick that up. The sea demands its payment. I love sea horror. And this is a Dell horror book. It doesn't say Dell Abyss, though, so maybe this predates the Abyss line. But it looks great. Oh, God, I'm making a mess down there. This looked crazy. Dude, I have so many good pickups. Strega by Andrew Vox. Burke is the ultimate creature of the streets. I don't know anything about this, but reading the back, it sounds really a bizarre, fast-paced tour of the criminal psyche, a grim authenticity. It sounds like, I don't know, gritty and gross. I'll read the back of this one. Why not? It was very dirty work, but Burke didn't shock easy. The lower depths of New York was his turf, and he was as at home there as a shark in water. But when he was hired by Strega, a beautiful, steamily sensual woman, to recover a photo of a young boy being sexually abused, he discovered there were depths within depths of depravity, as he found out what unimaginable acts human beings were capable of, including himself. And then there's a quote that says, "So hard-boiled that it makes Mike Hammer and Sam Spade look like running yolks." Whoa. Has anybody heard of this one? I don't know. I just found it and thought it looked interesting. That's the case for all these books, though, isn't it? These are... Okay, so have you guys been watching Dave over at the Vintage Paperback Reader? Hey, Dave. If you haven't, you should, because his channel rocks. And he is into these books on Rock, the publisher Rock, because he rocks. See what I did there? I picked these up because I found all three of them right next to each other, and I like time travel stuff. So this is Time Warrior 1. And it's Matthew J. Costello, who did a bunch of like Paperbacks from Hell type books. So Time Warrior 1, Time Warrior 2, and Time Warrior 3. So that's fun. And then I picked up two of these, which is Time Trap, unrelated to the other books I was just showing, but it looks amazing. This might even look more amazing than the other ones. Look at that. Time Trap Showdown. There's a bunch of, not a bunch, there's maybe 4 or 5 of these, so I'll have to find some more. But I just said I needed to stop buying books, didn't I? Liar, you liar, Brian. Dirty, rotten liar. All right. Deadly Force with a nasty looking coffee stain. Don't put coffee on your books. Don't set your coffee on your books. Or this guy is going to come at you with his gun. This is the first in an all-action adventure. Nothing else. All-action adventure. Found another book in the Cody's Army series. I've showed off a handful of these that I've found. And now I have another one. Look at this. Robert Mason Weapon. The super thriller of the hottest super thriller of the year. We've got this robot hand with a gun, and I was like, ooh, let's look at this step back art. Let's see it. It's gonna be sick. Guys, are you ready? It's gonna be so sick. What else? I got this one, On the Eighth Day by Lawrence Okun, a novel of nerve-shattering terror and nightmarish possibility. Look at this dude with his wrinkly. It's got this woman and his potion. Nice. I was stoked about this one. The Paperback Warrior did a video on Deer Hunter horror, and I was inspired to read the book that I talked about, Hunter's Blood, and watch the movie, which is a Deer Hunter horror book, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite reads of the year so far. It was fantastic, and I found this, The Dead of Winter by David Poyer. I didn't go back and watch that video, so I cannot remember if he talks about this one in here. I don't think he does. I had never heard of it before, but yeah, this is another Deer Hunter horror book. So, sweet. I'm sure he knows about it, though. He knows all. Eric knows all. Center Force, a science fiction novel by T.A. Waters. This just looks very, I don't know, very Tron. Very short. Oh, I'll show off this one real quick, too. It finally came in the mail. I was inspired by Night Nerves, Sam at Night Nerves, and Nick at the Book Graveyard, who were sent this for free. I paid money for it, and that's okay. I'm excited for it. You should go support Savage Harvest, is the sub name. I think it's Fathom Press. So this book, Cold Front by Barry Hammond, was published in the 80s, and it was one of the most rare, expensive horror books around. If you wanted it, you were going to have to pay a couple $100. Don't know why it was so rare, but I think it's also because it's supposed to be like really good. And so they re-released it in this beautiful edition with an afterword by the author. And they're doing a ton of re-releases of like older horror books, really obscure ones, really hard to find ones, which is cool because I don't have $200. So I do want to read that really soon because everybody says it's great. By everyone, I mean my homie Nick and my homie Sam. I found my first fighting fantasy book. Very cool. This is a game book. I believe it's like not as intense in terms of like developing your character as the Lone Wolf books. It's more of like a maybe in between Choose Your Own Adventure and that. It's kind of like I don't know, whatever. It looks fun. Okay. Got Barking Dogs, 1999. Crime is crippling Toronto, and one cop has the technology to cure it. Heck yeah, he does. I bought it mainly because it was cheap, and it said, it is this season's RoboCop. All right, you got me. RoboCop in Toronto, for any of you Canada fans. Well, I'm a Canada fan. I love Canada. I don't live there, though. I guess I should have said any of you Canadians. Who's not a fan of Canada? Canada's dope. So this, speaking of dope, this looks dope. The Ascent of D13, Andrew Garve. I think it's a mystery, but I don't care what it is. It's a climbing book, and it's got like the best, cheesiest cover ever, and I'm all here for it. Look at this publisher. What is that? And it's got this pink perennial mystery library. Oh, that's Harper and Row Publishers. It's probably not rare at all. I don't care. I love it. Amazing. More climbing books. All right. I found this one. First Obsession, Judith Reese. What hideous crime could drive a mother to murder? I don't know. I have to find out. I think this is like a mom revenge book. Very cool. Look at this. Guys, look at this. Invader, a novel by Albert Fay Hill and David Campbell Hill. I looked up reviews and it was kind of, people didn't love it, but it's got a shiny alien cover. It's alien. I love it. This one is expensive actually and hard to find. Death Spore, Harry Adam Knight. Found this for like a buck or two. And I just love that cover. So I need to read this one soon. It's a shorty. Oh, look at this. This looks amazing. Shuttle Down by Lee Corey. Look at that. Here's the novel that warned NASA of my computer ran out of space or something. I had to go delete some stuff. Anyways, so this is about like a space shuttle that takes off and then has to make an emergency landing, and they end up landing on Easter Island. And then I think it's more of like I don't know, like the practical, like what would happen, like very realistic sort of portrayal of how they would handle that. So it might not actually be that exciting, but the cover alone was enough for me. All right, we're getting to the bottom, I swear. We're almost done. That one is not for me. It's for someone else. Lorelei, Mark A. Clements. Love that lighthouse cover. Red Devil by David Saperstein. Pretty cool looking. And then my homeboy. Sorry. Go watch Nick's video where he talks about erotic thriller book that he read. And as soon as he posted that, I was like, that name looks so familiar. And it's because like literally a week before he posted that, I bought this at the store. Erotic Suspense, Voluptuous Terror. Looker by Jorge Saralegui. So Jorge Saralegui is the guy that wrote the book that Nick just reviewed. Yeah. Erotic thrillers, man. Hell yeah. Nick just gets it, dude. That man's taste is... Oh, his taste is just on point. By the way, if you guys like erotic thriller movies, watch the documentary We Kill for Love. It is like a 3-hour documentary that breaks down the entire genre of erotic thrillers, how it came about. It like analyzes it from interviews with the filmmakers, breaks it down intellectually, like as a genre and why we as a culture were so into it, what happened to it, and it's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clips from the most obscure erotic thrillers you've ever heard of, and you're going to come away wanting to watch so many movies. All right, I only got 2 more books. The Shooter by Barry Sadler. This looks amazing. Barry Sadler. And then it's got Angkor Wat. I've been there. I want to read an action book at Angkor Wat. Last book, but definitely not least. Wayfarer by Dennis Schmidt. So this is like a series of... This is a series of these... this dude who's like... It's like martial arts in space. That's it. That's all I got. So, that's it. I will be posting more frequently again. Sorry, I took a bit of a hiatus there. You only skipped a week, Brian. Chill. Nobody cares. But yeah, go watch the collabs I did recently with my buds, with my friends, because they were fun, and you should watch them and support their channels and subscribe to their channels. And everybody I mentioned, am I going to go back through this video and tag all these people? I don't know. But you should have a good day too. You should have a good day, and you should be happy, and I hope that whatever's going on in your life, there's a positive outcome. Peace out, friends.